Solon and Croesus, section C rather. So, we start here with Solon men and Croesus der. So we're still dealing with this conversation between Solon and Croesus. And Solon, on the one hand, the verb is nemo, and I suppose we're going to translate this here as he assigned second position eudaimonias, the second position in good fortune, in happiness, tutois, to these men, i.e. to Cleobis and Bitone, the subject of section B. So Solon assigned the second position, second place in good fortune to Cleobis and Bitone. Croesus, on the other hand, how does Croesus react to this? Well, he's irritated, and we have here sperktheis, which is an aorist passive participle, as you'll recognise. I suppose irritated would be a good translation. Croesus, however, having been irritated, said, "My Athenian guest, O Xene Athenaia." And then it's important to notice that Croesus asks a question, and that's only really made clear to you guys down here at the end of Croesus's words, epoiesas, and there's a question mark there. So don't forget this is a question. He says, now he talks in actual fact, interestingly enough, about my good fortune, but he doesn't use the word for my, emos, as you know. He uses the word for our, hermeteros, and this is what we call the royal we, or the royal our in this case. Kings and people of high status don't say my wife or my kingdom, they say our wife, our kingdom, and the use of this first person plural instead of the first person singular is an indication of their status. But also in this case, so Croesus is a king, and it is the sort of usage that kings employ, but it also is an indication of Croesus's self-importance and his arrogance. So he says, my good fortune. We've got here a result clause as huto and hoster should make clear to you. The interesting phrase, though, is, here's the verb, aporipto, which is literally to throw away. Is my good fortune thrown away to nothing, as to merden? Now merden, remember, is the same as uden, it means nothing. Now, we can't really say, is my good fortune thrown away to nothing. We're probably going to say something like, is my good fortune undervalued, disregarded, so much, that's the huto, that hoster, that, and then we go to our verb, poieo, which is to do or to make, that you make us, hermos, and again, what Croesus means is you make me, but he uses the royal we, and that you make me worthy, axios, not even of private men. So how would we say it? Is my good fortune undervalued so much that you make me worthy not even of private individuals? Question mark. And what we have there then is Croesus feels insulted by Solon. Solon disregards his wealth and his status so much that he makes Cleobis and Biton, that he makes Tellus, who are ordinary men with no rank, no status, no wealth, no nothing. And Solon promotes these men above Croesus, king of Lydia, the wealthiest man in the world. He's incredulous, he can't believe this, and he feels insulted by this. What does Solon say in reply? So we don't have Solon, we have Hodder. And Solon said, I think we could say, and Solon replied, O Croesus, which parallels the O Xene Athenaia above. Now what Solon replies is, the skeleton of the sentence is, you ask. It's not erotao, it's ep erotao, but we'll translate it as, you ask me. Now that's the core of the sentence. You ask me. Now me is accusative case, obviously, the accusative of ego, I, and epistamenon. Now epistemi means I know. And it's clearly accusative case, epistamenon, going with me. I know. Now what is it that... Now if you remember that verbs of knowing and perceiving in Greek take not the accusative infinitive construction, but the accusative and participle construction. And the accusative and participle here is to theon. I know that the divine is, there's the participle, on, usa on. It's the neuter because to theon is neuter. I know that the divine is... Now we have two very strong adjectives with which to describe the gods of the divine. The divine is phthoneron, jealous, envious. And then an even stronger adjective, tarakodes, meaning troublemaking, mischievous. So Solon says that I know that the divine is entirely, I suppose that's how we'll translate pan there, is entirely jealous and mischievous. And yet, says Solon, you ask me about anthropeon pragmaton, about human matters. So what is Solon saying here? Solon is saying that Croesus is so fixated on his own wealth and on his power upon earth that he has forgotten all about the gods above. And Solon is suggesting that Croesus's arrogance is and his wealth are going to provoke the gods' envy, and the gods will wish to punish Croesus for his arrogance. And notice that the preposition peri here at the end takes the genitive case anthropeon pragmaton, but usually prepositions go in front of their noun. Here, oddly enough, it comes after the genitive anthropeon pragmaton peri. Notice the antithesis as well, the contrast between the divine, to theon, and anthropeon pragmaton, human matters. It's interesting that Christian preachers, especially in the 19th century, would urge their congregations to pile up treasure in heaven, not on earth. And there's some connections there between those preachers in the 19th century and what Solon says here. So here we are in the second half of section C, and Solon continues and is still speaking and carries on speaking until there, in actual fact. And then you see tautalegon saying these things. So what does Solon say? Well, he uses the verb, first of all, phainomai, which you're familiar with, to seem, to appear. And because it's a middle verb, phine is in actual fact the second person. This is you seem, and here we have it, su. Okay, so Solon says to Croesus, you seem to me Plutein mega. Well, to be, now pluteo is to be wealthy, Plutein mega is to be very wealthy. You seem to me to be very wealthy. Notice the men is very important on the one hand, and King Basilus of many men, Polon, Anthropon. So you seem to me to be wealthy and to be king of many people. And then we have the de in the next sentence to pick up the men in the first sentence. But, however, he doesn't use u, he uses upo. I don't say that you are happy. You are very wealthy, you're king of many people, but the det there, the men and the det is a strong antithesis. Wealthy, yes. King of many people, yes. But happy? Question mark. Okay, the antithesis between wealth and kingship on the one hand, and happiness, good fortune on the other. These are opposites, or could be opposites, are opposites in Solon's opinion in this case. But I do not say that you are happy. And then we have prin an, and we're going to translate this as until, and it takes the subjunctive form in actual fact. Until, here's the subjunctive, pythomai. Now you know pyanthanomai, I discover, I ascertain. I will not call you happy, but I will not call you happy until I discover. Now again, we have verbs of knowing and perceiving, and pyanthanomai is one of them. Take the accusative and the participle construction, rather than the accusative infinitive construction. And that again is what we have here. Teleutesantas se. Teleutesantas clearly an aorist participle. Se is the accusative. Until I learn that you have ended, teleutao as I end, until I learn that you have ended ton iona, I suppose we will just say, until I learn that you have ended your life, kalos, nobly, finely, properly, honourably. So notice this verb, teleutao, I end, I die, in actual fact. And notice underneath, on the next line, we have the noun, teleuter, which is end, or death, in actual fact. Here it's going to be the end. So he uses the verb teleutao in one line, and the noun teleuter in the next line. What does he say? Cre. Now you know cre. It's the same as day. It's an impersonal verb. It means it is necessary. And Solon says it is necessary, scopein, to see, to observe, to consider the end, pantos krematos, of every affair, of every matter. And then we have two words at the end of the sentence. In actual fact, there's an iota subscript missing. There should be an iota subscript under, it's not per, it's per e. It is necessary to observe the end of every matter, how it will turn out. Apobesatai, clearly a future tense, apobino, how it will turn out. So, I suppose Solon is saying, you seem at the moment to be very wealthy and very prosperous, but you have to judge a man's life in its entirety, and you have to see how a man ends his life before you can finally judge whether he has led a happy, prosperous life. 4, gar, always second word in Greek, as you know. 4. The subject is hotheos, again, the god. No specific god is meant, and we probably, I suppose, translate it as the gods. For the gods. Here's the verb. Well, no, the verb in actual fact is anatrepo at the end of the sentence, but the participle here, hypodeixas, is from hypodeknumi, which is, well, deknumi is to show. Hypo is an interesting prefix. Here it means to show a glimpse of, to show a little bit of. For the god, having shown prosperity to many men, polos, but we'll say having shown prosperity a little bit, having shown a glimpse of prosperity to many men, the god. And then we have a very strong verb, anatrepo, to overturn, to ruin, to destroy. God, having shown a little bit of prosperity to many men, destroys them. Proridus. From the root, literally, we say in English root and branch, and it's a phrase that suggests complete destruction. This adjective proridus, combined with the verb anatrepo, indicates complete and utter destruction. God may show a glimpse of happiness to many people and then destroy them utterly. So that's the end of what Solon says, and it's a warning to Croesus. But Croesus, being arrogant and full of what we would call chutzpah, how does he react to Solon's words? So, saying these things, tauta lego, to Croesus, Solon charistomized the verb. Solon pleased him not at all. Pose reinforces the negative. Solon pleased Croesus not one jot. And then we have a more detailed description of Croesus's reaction. What does Croesus do? Well, he apopempomai, which is to send away, to dismiss. Croesus sends Solon back, dismisses him from the court. Off you go. It's the historic present, in actual fact, as you can see. Croesus dismisses Solon. Having made him of account, no. Having considered him of no account, Croesus dismissed him. Notice how oudenos here is heavily emphasized by its separation from account. It says, having made him of account, and then the negative appears at the end, having made him of account, no account. The separation of oudenos from logu means that when it arrives, it's very heavily emphasized. Having made Solon of no account, Croesus dismissed him. Doxos, another aorist participle, I think we'll say something like having concluded that he was amather. Well, you know manthenode, I learn, and you know the alpha on the front, which negates. Amathes means stupid, foolish. having concluded that he was, Carter is the interesting word, having concluded that he was especially foolish. Now, notice that Herodotus here condemns Croesus. He regards Solon as a wise man, and Croesus not only can't see the wisdom of Solon, he thinks he's an idiot. So having concluded that he was especially foolish, Hos, having concluded that he, i.e. Solon, was especially foolish, he who, it's the relative pronoun, who, aorist participle here, mathes, who, having, it's not a passive participle in fact, no, it looks it, who, having dismissed or disregarded the present good, he sees Croesus's wealth and power and he dismisses it. Having dismissed the present good, ordered, I suppose, we ordered Croesus, there's no accusative, there's no object for akelua, ordered Croesus to see the end of every matter. Solon says that Croesus's wealth and prosperity may very well only be temporary, and Croesus can't see this. He is fixated and so happy with his own wealth, and of course, he is full of hubris, and Solon is warning him that Nemesis will come. And Croesus, what is Croesus's reaction to this warning? He thinks the man's stupid and he dismisses him.